Well, 1 year ago, we posted our very first video here on YouTube. 0 subscribers, 0 videos, 0 views. And to be honest, we had a bit of nerves about it.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, one of the comments on that first video was, over 50, you look over 80. So we were off to a strong start.
Yeah, that was a little bit unkind. That being said, at this point now, a year later, we have almost 10,000 subscribers and over 400,000 views, and we could not be more grateful. It's just been incredible. But the thing that's been surprising is what about this has changed us?
So in this video, we're sharing just a few ways that starting a YouTube channel over 50 has changed our lives. And I do think that it is very different when you start at this stage of life versus if we had started one in our 20s and 30s. And we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, but it'd be interesting, if you've been watching us for a while, it'd be great if you could add in the comments how long you've been watching us. Did you discover us a year ago? Did you discover us 6 months ago? That would be great. We'd love to say hello.
And say thank you. Well, the first thing is just this idea of fighting the urge to retreat at this stage of life. I'll be honest, this channel was Matt's idea. I was not on board at all.
Yeah, it took a little bit of work to get her to agree to it.
Now, this was not about the work. I wholeheartedly believed in the idea, but it was just that at this stage of life, I didn't want to be vulnerable and put my life on the internet for other people to judge. I mean, to be honest, I was kind of done with social media and I just wanted to find a nice quiet beach, stick my toes in the sand, maybe drink something fruity. I did not want to be involved in online and sharing our lives online. It was something that was really hard for me to accept. I was ready to be done with it.
And I get that.
However, I'm really glad that I did it because I think that there is an urge at this stage of life to kind of retreat, right? It's very common to say, you know, I don't need any new friends, or I don't want to take any more risks, or, you know, I've given up on love if you're single, or just any of those things where we feel like it's just time to pull back. It's time to retreat.
Well, and for us, we decided that it was important just for our own being to push ourselves forward and to not retreat. And in fact, pushing ourselves forward is part of why we moved to Portugal.
Right, and it wasn't really just about the channel or just about Portugal. This is something that we talk about, that we always want to have this posture of moving forward instead of retreating, especially at this stage of life. We want to stay curious about life. We want to stay open to adventure. We want to stay open to growing and learning new things. So at the end of the day, I'm really glad that I pushed through that fear and that we started the channel. I think we're better off for it. Now, when we started the channel, we made a deal. Matt handles all the YouTube comments and I handle all the Instagram comments.
And overall, I mean, with the exception perhaps of that very first comment about us being over 80, the comments have been very, very positive.
Yeah, and we just want to say how grateful we are. We love hearing from you guys in the comments, and we've learned so much from you, and we love hearing more about your stories. But we do occasionally get mean comments, and I think before we started the YouTube channel, I was so terrified of that. And I think now that we've lived through a few, I have developed a bit of a thicker skin. And I think one of the things that really helps is just being really clear about who our audience is, who we show up every week for, and thinking about people who maybe don't like the way we present things or don't like the way we look. We had some people, somebody said we needed a tan. Completely fair, but it was just this idea of, okay, well, if you don't like what we have to say or how we have to share it, that's fine. You're just really not our audience. And I think getting really super clear on who our audience isn't has made it easier for us to continually show up and ask the question, who is our audience? What do they need? How can we help them get what they want?
Well, the fear of being judged and getting rude comments, well, it doesn't disappear, but it does shrink. And over time, you feel more confident about sharing your story online.
And it's not about being liked by everybody on the internet. That's just not possible. It comes with knowing our lane.
Well, this is the one that caught us most off guard.
Yeah, we really didn't expect to meet so many of you, and it's been so great. We've met some of you in Portugal who've already made the move. We've met many of you over coffee who are here for a scouting trip. Some of you have stayed in our Airbnb. Some of us have connected through DMs on Instagram. That has been such a great surprise and such a great upside of starting this channel.
And when we do meet some of you, it's great because, well, we're able to skip a lot of the introductory small talk because you already know our story and we can just just use the time to learn about your story and your questions.
And that's a depth of connection that we've been able to establish with many people we've met up with that typically would take months to build. But there's something about when you just show up and share your story, there's people who relate to it, and you're really able to form, I think, better connections faster. And it's been honestly one of the most rewarding parts of starting a YouTube channel.
And it's not just about meeting people. I think, like you said, it's the connection. And you think about it, we're putting ourselves out there, but when people decide that they're going to contact us or meet with us, they're self-selecting. So it's almost as if we are already self-selected to be friends or to have a connection that would be very, very much deeper and quicker than it would be if we were just two random people meeting on the street.
There's a phrase from content creation that we love, and it's just this idea of signal versus noise. And it's really about what Matt just talked about, is that you kind of, find your people this way. When you show up and you share your story online, whether it's a YouTube channel or a blog or a newsletter or any number of ways on Instagram, TikTok, whatever, it makes it really easy for the people who will connect most with your story to find you.
Well, and that's what happened here. And we are genuinely proud and honestly grateful for the community that we built around this.
Yeah. So the next one is really about an income stream. We did not know when we started this channel what the financial opportunity was, if any at all. We had no idea.
Yeah, and when we started, we thought, maybe we can make $1,000 a month and that would be great.
Yeah. And since then, we have made more than that and continues to grow every month, which is really exciting to see.
So let's be clear, it's not a life-changing amount of money, but it is an amount of money that allows us to see the possibilities that are out there.
Yeah, and I think this is true for anyone, this idea of life-changing amount of money versus game-changing amount of money, because it changes your mindset. And when you make your first $1,000 online, then you begin to think, well, how can I build on that and make $10,000 a month or even more? And once you do that, then a whole world becomes available to you. There's possibilities about where in the world you could live and how much time you could have and how you spend that time. And that's why we have the Over 50 Online Income Handbook, and it's filled with ideas of how to make your first $1,000 online.
Well, starting something new, and especially starting something in public, well, it keeps you on your toes.
Yeah, absolutely. We have had to learn and relearn and improve on all kinds of skill sets, including video editing and lighting and social media and SEO. Like, there was just a lot to building this over the last year.
Yeah, but I think part of that is the fun of it, right? The challenge of it and trying to learn new things. I think leaning into that has been really an important thing for us.
Yeah, absolutely. We get to be novices again. And for a lot of people at this stage of life, you're probably cruising in your career, not because it's easy, but you just know your way around. You know how to do what you do. So I think that to start all over again and kind of learn something from scratch and be a novice and try something just for the fun of it, I think it's been challenging. At times we haven't always gotten it right, and we've had to learn. But I think that that's been something that's been part of what's so rewarding about this.
Absolutely. I think it's really good for us too, just to be challenging ourselves and, like we said earlier, pushing ourselves forward.
Yeah.
And the opposite for us of aging out is showing up week after week, even if a video flops.
Yeah. Sometimes especially when a video flops, and we've had a few. So the next one is really about building together. You know, a few years ago when we sat down and we created our unretirement plan, something that was really important to us is setting some ground rules for what we wanted work to look like at this stage and the role that we wanted work to play in our lives.
And one of those rules was that we wanted to build this thing together.
Right, not Matt's business, not my business, but our business together.
And it has made the work more meaningful, it's made it more fun, and honestly much more aligned with who we are.
So the entire reason that we wanted to do this video is just to say, if you've got an idea of something that you want to share with the world, maybe it's a YouTube channel, maybe it's a newsletter, maybe it's a blog, maybe it's a TikTok, whatever it is, just to encourage you not to let fear hold you back.
Yeah, and I think for us, creating this channel, it has benefited us. It has been surprising in the ways that we have grown and and enjoy doing this. And it's such a positive thing. And we're so grateful for all of you for watching.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, please leave a comment. We'd love to just say hello and say thank you and find out where you're watching from and how long you've been watching. And if you want to know how we monetized our YouTube channel in 78 days, watch this video.